If you're watching this, there's a good chance you're more capable than you think. And that's actually the problem. Because some people, the more others believe in them, the less they believe in themselves. Deep down, there's this constant feeling of, I'm not good enough. I'm not there yet. I don't actually know what I'm doing. In psychology of behavior, that's called imposter syndrome. And if you've never heard of it, stay till the end of this video, because this might be the first time something actually explains why you feel this way, and why you can't seem to stop. Imposter syndrome is a strange thing to explain because it lives specifically in the gap between what other people see and what you feel on the inside. From the outside, things look fine, good even. You show up, you deliver, people seem to trust you, respect you, maybe even look up to you a little, and you play the part well enough that nobody suspects anything. But inside, there's this running commentary, a constant low-level audit of everything you do. Did I actually know what I was talking about in that meeting? Or did I just sound confident? Was that a good idea? Or did everyone just go along with it to be polite? When they said great work, did they mean it? Or are they just being kind? You become weirdly good at explaining away every success. The compliment was exaggerated. The project went well because of the team. The grade was high because the test was easy. There's always a reason why the win doesn't fully count. And failures? Those count completely. Those are the real data points. Those are the moments that confirm what you already suspected. That imbalance, where nothing good sticks and everything bad does, that's not just low confidence. That's something more specific. And it's more common than most people realize. Here's what's easy to miss about imposter syndrome. It tends to show up most in people who are genuinely capable, not people who are coasting, not people who don't care. It shows up in the ones who care too much, who hold themselves to standards that quietly shift upward every time they get close, who notice their own uncertainty more than they notice other people's. A lot of it comes from early experiences around achievement. Maybe you grew up in a home where being smart or capable was the thing that earned love, attention, approval. So you learned very early that your worth was tied to your performance. And performance is always uncertain, always up for evaluation. So you never fully relax into being good enough, because good enough was always a moving target. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you were praised so much as a kid, told you were gifted, special, destined for something, that now, as an adult, you're quietly terrified of being ordinary, of being found out as just normal. The gap between who people think you are and who you actually feel like on the inside becomes its own kind of pressure. Some people develop it later, when they enter a new environment, a competitive school, a high-achieving workplace, a room full of people who all seem to know more than you. Suddenly the context shifted, and your internal sense of yourself hasn't caught up yet. You're comparing your inside to everyone else's outside, and that comparison is almost never fair. One of the heaviest parts of imposter syndrome is the energy it takes to manage it, because you can't just feel it privately. You have to perform around it. You over-prepare because you're afraid of being exposed as someone who doesn't know enough. You stay quiet in meetings because you're convinced your idea isn't as smart as it feels in your head. Or you over-explain yourself, add too many qualifiers, apologize before you've even said anything wrong. You volunteer for things you're not sure you can do, then spend weeks anxious about it. Not because you're ambitious exactly, but because saying no felt like admitting something, and you can't admit it. The exhausting irony is that a lot of this behavior actually makes you better at your job. The over-preparation means you're always ready. The self-doubt means you check your work twice. The anxiety about being found out means you rarely phone it in. So from the outside, you look thorough, reliable, conscientious. But you're doing all of it from a place of fear, not confidence. And that distinction matters in a way that's hard to explain to people who haven't felt it. There's a difference between doing good work because you love it and doing good work because you're terrified of what happens if you don't. There's always that person, you know the one. They walk into a room and just take up space. They share ideas without apologizing for them first. They make mistakes and seem genuinely unbothered. They get the same feedback you'd spiral over and just go, okay, noted, and move on. And you watch them and you think, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just be like that? But here's something worth sitting with. You don't actually know what's happening inside them. You're watching their surface, their posture, their voice, their apparent ease. You're not hearing the internal monologue, and most people have one, even the ones who look completely sure of themselves. Confidence isn't the absence of doubt. It's just that some people have learned, through experience, through environment, through luck, through years of being told their voice matters, to act before the doubt catches up. That's not a personality type you either have or don't. That's a skill, a practiced, learned, sometimes painful skill. Nobody cures imposter syndrome in a single realization. It doesn't work like that. But there are moments, small ones, easy to dismiss, where something loosens slightly, where you do the thing, the presentation, the meeting, the hard conversation, and you come out the other side and realize, I handled that, not perfectly, but I handled it. And those moments start to accumulate, not into certainty, but into something quieter, a kind of track record you can't fully explain away anymore. You've been here before, you've felt this exact fear before, and you made it through before. That doesn't eliminate the anxiety, but it changes its texture a little. It's less like a warning and more like an old habit. Some people also find something shifting when they start talking about it honestly, not performing struggle, not fishing for reassurance, but actually saying to someone they trust, I feel like I don't belong here, and I don't totally know why. And hearing back, me too. That moment of recognition, of not being alone in the feeling, does something that no amount of self-talk quite manages. The deeper thing underneath imposter syndrome, the thing that takes a long time to even see, is the assumption that everyone else has arrived somewhere you haven't, that there's a version of adulthood or expertise or belonging where the uncertainty goes away, where you finally feel qualified, finally feel like you deserve the seat at the table. That place doesn't really exist, not for anyone. The people who seem most settled in themselves aren't the ones who stopped doubting. They're the ones who stopped waiting for the doubt to disappear before they showed up. They figured out, slowly, messily, without a clean moment of clarity, that the uncertainty is just part of it, that you do the work while feeling unsure, that belonging isn't something you wait to be granted. It's something that happens gradually, through showing up again and again, even when the voice says you shouldn't. You're not a fraud, you're just someone who cares enough to worry about it, and that's a very different thing. If this felt familiar, if you spent this whole video quietly nodding, you're in much larger company than you think. This isn't a niche experience. It's not a sign that something is broken in you. It's one of the most quietly universal things there is. And if you've never talked about it with anyone, maybe that's worth considering. Not to fix it, just to say it out loud once. It has a way of losing some of its power when you do. Drop a comment if any part of this landed for you. It genuinely helps to know which parts hit closest to home. And if you want to keep exploring this kind of psychology, the quiet, internal, hard-to-name stuff, there's more where this came from.